Hi, everyone. Good evening. How are you? I just wanted to jump on and talk a little bit about a revelation that I had recently and kind of talk about my kids, actually, and homeschooling. So, if you guys are homeschooling your kids, um, this would definitely be helpful for me to get any feedback, but also I just kind of want to talk about it. So I know that I've been on here and I've talked about my two sons, and the older one has ADHD and so does the younger one, but they both have like serious trouble in school. Well, today a friend came over and she was telling me how her 3-year-old in preschool is like going through some of the very same exact things in preschool that has happened to both of my sons. And it was just kind of confirmation for me, because I was kind of already thinking about doing homeschooling with them, but I just kind of wanted to get some feedback because honestly, I'm like, I don't know, it was like a light bulb went off in my head about what is kind of going on with kids and why. So, when my son was in kindergarten, he was just different. He had anxiety, he would run around, and they call it ADHD. He couldn't focus, but what was worse is he couldn't get any help from his teachers, and because there were too many kids in one class, so she couldn't devote all of her time, and which is of course natural, but he would break down and cry in front of the kids when he couldn't understand an assignment. And so he got laughed at all the time and made fun of because he was different. And he used to come home and tell me how, and this was when he was 6 and 7 years old, that he wanted to kill himself, that he hated school, he hated people. And I was just like shocked by the whole thing. And then my 7-year-old, he has just been recently doing the same things. And I know he has ADHD too, but like he's starting to say the same things, and he's coming home and he's just super depressed. He's got bad behavior reports all the time. And this is what came up with my girlfriend today, was the bad behavior reports and how her 3-year-old is getting them. And I was like, wow. So I guess, you know, kids get these like behavior marks based on either like colors or like my son, it's all his colors, and stuff like that. But like every single day, my son would be coming home feeling horrible because he was getting bad marks. And even though his teachers know that he has ADHD and all that, they were still giving him bad behavior marks. And so he was coming home like depressed and sad, and like I've never seen kids like that, especially like my 2 older sons. Like every day they're just like coming home scared to tell me what happened. They're just sad. Like they are telling me they hate school. And I was just like thinking about like, what is going on? Maybe I should just homeschool them, and my girlfriend was telling me how her 3-year-old is going through the same thing. Like he gets not there, like I guess in the preschool that they're in, they get these behavior marks, but if you get the best behavior mark for the day, you get a prize. Well, if you don't get that best remark, then you don't get a prize. So like only the good kids get a prize at the end of the day. And so her son is like so sad every single day that he's coming home because he's not getting a prize and the other kids are, and he feels bad. And so I'm just like, that is the same thing that's going on with my kids. And the one thing that I noticed is my 9-year-old, he is like having like, where he used to be so imaginative and creative and things like that, his unique qualities were what I knew his gifts were from, like that set him apart, that made him unique. And more, as he has stayed in school, I'm noticing that he's kind of like shut down those gifts, because that was mostly what he was being made fun of for at school. And he's more shutting those things down, trying to be like everybody else in school. And so because of that, it's like he's not even the same kid. He's like turned off those special qualities that made him so unique, but yet it's what at school he's getting bad remarks for and getting made fun of. But the one thing that I notice more than that is like he's just not himself, because of course if you're trying to be like someone else, then you're not being yourself, then you're not happy, so this is what I'm noticing with my kids. And I'm just like, I feel that they're losing their spirit, their joy, their happiness, and it's all making sense to me. And it's so bizarre how the other, like, no matter what age they are, like my girlfriend's son is 3 years old. So no matter what age they are, they're all experiencing the same type of thing where it's like lack of self-esteem, losing their individuality, more depressed and not being who they truly are. And that's a common theme. And, I don't know, it's just a little bit shocking that this kind of hit me. And I was like, whoa, that's exactly what's going on, and I know for myself, because like that has happened to me already, where I started conforming to what other people wanted me to do, and I started losing parts of myself because I wasn't being true to myself. And it literally was like hell on earth. Because when I started doing what other people wanted me to do, I was so unhappy. And it literally felt like a prison, hell. And I even talked about this in a video the other day, but I'm like seeing that that's exactly what's happening to kids, my kids. And I'm like, whoa. And it's like, it's not like, there's no one to blame. Like, the teachers are amazing. They've always tried to help my boys. Like, that's not even the issue. Teachers are rock stars. And like, the biggest problem that I have noticed is that they are so overcrowded with kids that they don't have time to give attention to the ones that need a little bit more help. So they get made fun of more, or they get worse, because it's like one teacher to 30 kids, and it's like they don't have any help. So they're doing the best that they can. And so that's not even it. It's like, it's just the kids, like, that are so different and unique, that have ADHD or autism or things like that. They're either completely isolated into another class, and then they're basically isolated at school, or if they're in a regular class, then they're like made fun of and stuff like this. And it's like, it's just kind of happening naturally. So, I just wanted to I had a light bulb go off, and I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, because it fires me up, because I know when I literally felt like I was in hell, in a prison of my own mind, because I had lost pieces of myself. That's exactly how I see my son right now, where he's just like, like just going along, like, or they're super, getting really bad behavior, or they're acting out, or like my middle son, he is violent and he's acting out, and he's throwing things, and he's kicking, and like he won't listen. And it's like, we have all been conditioned just from like society. Sorry, my light's dying, so you can't probably see me, but we have all been conditioned like that when our kids come home and they get like bad behavior marks, that's not okay. And like, I was doing this to my kids at first. Like, I was putting them in trouble. Like, that's not okay. Why are you being bad? But what I came to realize was like, it's completely the opposite. Like, it's literally the opposite of them being bad. They're crying out for help is what they're doing. It's them losing pieces of themselves, and they don't know what to do. And so they're screaming and kicking and having anxiety attacks and, you know, throwing things and begging for help. But because we see this as not okay, because they come home with these bad behavior marks, it's like we're punishing them, you know? And I was doing it too for a while, until I realized that like they were just seriously afraid, and they were scared because they were embarrassed, and there was so much fear, and they were being made fun of, so they didn't feel good about themselves. And so this bad behavior was just, ultimately it came down to a lack of love that they felt, you know, and that's exactly how I felt. So, I mean, I just, you know, I'm thinking about doing the homeschooling thing because I want to, you know, we all want our kids to be, you know, at their best and be happy in life. And I just see that that is not what is happening naturally with my boys. And I'm like, wow. So, you know, if your kids have ADHD or are getting bad behavior or acting out or whatever, using drugs or just being rebellious and things like that, you know, I just think like how it happened for me, how I saw that it was completely the opposite of what I thought. And instead of punishing my kids, I started just telling them that it's okay and that I love them for who they are. And, you know, that is helping, but I think like taking them out of an environment where they feel like they have to conform to be just like everybody else, and put them in a more of an environment where they can explore their individuality and truly thrive in that and use their gifts and talents, and follow the things they love. And, you know, instead of doing the same thing every single day, the same subjects, like my middle son, he is not good at the school subjects, but he is amazing at gardening and farming, and he loves animals, and like he thrives with that, but he's not good at school subjects. So all the kids tell him how stupid he is. And he literally, I mean, just the other day, he told me, "I'm just stupid, Mom." And I'm like, what? What? Like, and he'll just blurt out, "Everybody hates me." And like, the truth of it is that's not even the reality, but because, you know, he knows he's not good at those school subjects, he feels like an outcast, you know, like he's not as good as everybody else, and so he's stupid and everybody hates him. And I'm I'm just like, that is so the opposite of the truth, but yet that's how he feels, and that's how he sees it through his eyes. So what's going to happen eventually is just depression and anger, and he's already being completely violent and like with just us, you know, at home. And so you know, if your kids are like behaving in the same way, comment, let me know. I just want opinion on homeschooling and what you guys think about the whole thing. I know that there's mixed opinions about it, and trust me, I'm like, whoa, me homeschool? Like, that's probably where I feel the most like nervous about it, is because I've never done it, and it's not the popular option, you know? But at the same time, it's like, I love my kids more than anything, and I know that everybody feels the exact same way. So I would do anything to make sure that they remain happy, you know? And so I just wanted to share my story, because if you feel like, you know, your kids are coming home with bad grades or bad remarks or doing, you know, bad things, and you're looking at them as, why aren't they being good? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? I just encourage you to maybe look at it on the other option, you know, like flip the script and kind of see. What I saw was that they're just being so embarrassed or afraid at school, or told that they're stupid, or made fun of because they're a little bit different. And so it's just them, you know, acting out because they just need help. You know, they just want love, and they just want someone to say, you know, that we love them just the way that they are. It's okay. They are allowed to be who they want to be. And so anyway, I just needed to get on and just share this, because I think it's so important, and I know so many people right now can relate, because I've talked to other parents, and it's like the same exact story, you know, the same story with their kids. And like I said, I went through something similar, and I felt like I was in a prison in my mind, and it was really torturous. And so I know I want to break my kids out of that. So anyway, I just hope you guys have a good night, and we'll see, you know, I'll just keep talking about it and see what happens. So, all right, you guys, much love. Bye.